Humor me for a moment and close your eyes. Close your eyes and picture, what does someone who raises cattle look like? What does that farmer's face look like? What kind of clothes is that rancher wearing? Now open your eyes. How does that picture in your mind compare with what's before you? I am a rancher. I am one of the many hard-working people dedicated to raising the beef that's on your plates. I am a rancher, but I have a deep, dark secret. A secret that I will share with you today. You see, ours is a corporate farm. A big farm. Some might even call it a factory farm. It is complete with a corporate share structure, profit-sharing formula, detailed budgets, and board meetings. We have payroll and employee benefits. We do not sell our product at local shops or farmers markets. It's big business. I'm sure by now you've formed an entirely new picture in your mind, and it may not be a particularly nice one. Anyone who's been following the food movement hears that corporate farming is bad business. Bad for the environment. Bad for a healthy food supply. Bad for you. But what if it's not? What if, again, it is completely different than what you have pictured? You see, our farm is also a family farm. It is 100% owned by myself, my husband, and his two parents. Our board meetings alternate between our kitchen tables, and those detailed budgets are prepared after we finally get the kids to bed. We have employees, but they feel like family. And some days, their greatest benefit is being able to bring their kids to work with them. Let me tell you a little more about our farm so that you can get a clearer picture. We have over 1,000 cows that will have baby calves each spring. They will then spend the summer and fall grazing across our grassy pastures. We also have last year's calves that graze for the summer as yearlings. Those yearlings will go into a feedlot for a few months until they're ready to be processed into beef. So on any given day, we have close to 3,000 animals to care for. For all of this, we have 10,000 acres of land. To help you picture what that looks like, imagine 10,000 football fields, only dotted with trees and wetlands. Well, all of this is obviously a big job. My number one job is my role as a mother. I may be a rancher, but first, I'm a mom. There is absolutely nothing more important to me on the farm than raising safe, healthy, nutritious beef. I have never sold meat that I would not happily serve to my own children. When I'm not busy on the ranch doing ranchy things, I'm doing all of the same mom things as many of you. Making lunches, organizing fundraisers, chauffeuring kids from one activity to the next. In fact, right now, my mom guilt is strong, saying I should be picking my kids up from school, while my rancher brain is so excited to be speaking with all of you today, because this conversation is so important. I consider myself lucky every single day to be living this ranch life with my family by my side, to be fostering within our children their own deep love of not only agriculture, but of the animals and the very land itself. With this love comes the understanding of things that are greater than yourself. I cannot think of a greater lesson than caring for a sick animal in a winter storm, or waiting to open gifts on Christmas morning, because the needs of the animals must always come first. These are the lessons that will help my kids grow into the best adults that they can be. This is a picture that always stands out in my mind. On this wintry day, myself, my husband, and my son, who was 6 years old at the time, trailed 700 cows across 5 miles to a different pasture. It was an incredibly calm, peaceful day that filled my heart with a sense of serenity. It was the kind of day that reminds me just how lucky we are. We use science every single day on the ranch. Science helps us make the best possible decisions for our cattle, our land, and to make sure that our end product, the beef that's on all of your plates, as well as my own, is as wholesome, healthy, and most importantly, safe as possible. As I'm making my own food choices about what to feed my family, I am shocked by the amount of misinformation that's out there in the world today. The sad fact of marketing is that fear sells. Words out of context sound scary. Hormones, antibiotics, chemicals. These are just a handful of words that, as terrifying as they sound, have very simple yet important value to our farm. At some point, we as farmers lost your trust, the trust of the people, to make the best decisions for not only our farms, but for you, the people who will be eating the very food we produce. The other day, I was standing in line at a busy grocery store, and a young mother was standing in front of me with her toddler and small baby. She had just finished paying for her towering cart of groceries when her toddler daughter looked at her and said, "I need to use the restroom right now." The joys of potty training. That young mom looked at me with sheer panic in her eyes and asked me, a perfect stranger, to watch her cart and her baby. As I stood there with not only her purchases, but also her tiny child, I was caught by the irony. I look like someone to be trusted. Trusted with her purchases, trusted with her food, trusted with her child. But yet somehow not trusted to grow the very food found in her cart. It was a turning point for me, because I know that I don't just look trustworthy, I am. So talking about the scary sounding words that people use to make us fear our food is important to me. Hormone implants sound scary, but in reality, they're not. They easily call to mind a picture of an extreme athlete all bulked up with unnatural muscles. But we already know just how inaccurate our mental picture of things can be. We use hormone implants in cattle. That is not a dirty little secret. That is something that I'm proud of. This very picture is of a yearling with the hormone implant in its ear. Visually, you would never know the difference. We use hormone implants to make cattle more efficient. We want them to be really great at converting every bite of food that they eat into as much nutritious beef as possible. I would compare it to people, not unlike myself, who put on weight a little easier than others. Only in cattle, it's a good thing. Hormones are in all of the food we eat, from beef to tofu to cabbage. The fact that there is more estrogen in my coleslaw salad than there is in my steak won't stop me from enjoying either one of them. The bottom line is this: can we raise cattle without using hormone implants? Of course we can. Many do. But there are consequences. They allow my ranch to be as sustainable and as environmentally friendly as possible. Without them, we would need to use more land and grow more feed and use more water to produce the same amount of beef. And we would produce more greenhouse gases along the way as well. For me and my ranch, it's an easy choice, one that I feel comfortable putting on my children's plates. But what about antibiotics? If I ask myself the same question, can we raise cattle without any antibiotics? My answer is a firm no. Exactly the same as I have not been able to raise my children without antibiotics. And I think I'm a pretty darn good mom. The reality is that just like people, sometimes animals get sick. Now, as a rancher, it is my job to keep our cattle as healthy as possible. That means keeping them happy. Stress causes illness. It means meeting all of their nutritional needs. It means working with our veterinarian to create a whole herd health plan that includes things like vaccinations. But sometimes animals get sick. And when there is a sick animal on our ranch, I will treat it with every bit of care and attention that I can, just as I would my children. So, what kind of picture do you have in your mind now? Am I someone to be trusted? Do you value what I've spoken about today as a rancher? As a mother? Will you trust me to grow your food? I have one final secret to share with you today. My most important secret. Are you ready? I am not special. I am not an exemplary rancher to be held on a pedestal above any others. Every single rancher cares this deeply. Every single beef producer is a mother or a father, a brother, sister, aunt, or uncle. I reached out to the ranching community on Twitter, and I asked them to send me pictures of themselves for this slide. And I have to say, it fills my heart with pride. These are the faces of the men and women who are putting beef on your plate. These are people just like you. These are people. There's only one reason that anyone, anywhere, chooses to become a beef producer. And it is because we love it with a passion so deep and so fierce that it is not unlike the passion that a parent has for their child. It is a passion so intense that we can literally taste it. For me and my family, that passion tastes like steak. Thank you.